Morning, everyone. There's a chance of possibly heavy rain showers moving in mid-morning. Ultimately, that probably means we won't do too much harvesting today, depending on how it pans out. I can already see the blue out to the west. Oil check. Good to go. As you can probably guess, the north 36-foot bin is now full of corn, so these three bins here are full, south 48's empty, and the Shivers bin is empty.
You want to pick the load on the fuel house before it rains, and all goes to hell there. How much is on there?
I have no idea.
I'm going down there and open that up and come down to the fuel house.
Our storage capacities are pretty antiquated compared to today's 240 to 250 bushel corn averages. We fill these bins up a lot quicker than we did 10 to 15 years ago. We got about 600 bushels on the cart from last night. Dump that out. It's gonna be a breezy one today, if you can't tell. And there's no reason to question it. Yes, in fact, I have already scheduled my nap for today. That settles that. According to LibreCart by Agromatics, that field made 246 bushels per acre. Pioneer 1359. Our time very well may be limited. We are going to try to accomplish something this morning. As long as that something doesn't include breaking down right before the downpour starts, we'll be satisfied with where we're at in harvest. Normally trying to accomplish something before a rain usually results in some type of catastrophic failure that you have to fix out in a downpour. Might have to get a plaque out in this field to remember the Battle of the Burr Cucumber. We barely won that fight. I spent literally all yesterday evening picking out those little spiky burrs out of my sweatshirt and shirt. We may have achieved victory out on that battle. It was not without cost. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, that means you missed the previous video, so go back and watch that. Yeah, you can try. Probably not going to come as even remotely a surprise to most of you. Not going to get even close to as much accomplished this morning as we were planning on. Really heavy rain, almost a downpour from what I'm seeing to the west. It's coming. At least the corn is somewhat decent here. Pulling the plug already. Downpour inbound. Rain, go away. At the very least, it was fun while it lasted. Kind of like harvesting with a Claas Lexion. Funny how it always works out. You tarp everything down, you get halfway back to the machine shed, and then the rain lets up. Might be slightly off topic. Can someone explain to me why dogs run away when it storms? We've got two beautiful, intelligent, and athletic border collies that also can jump the fence in the backyard at our house in town. And when it storms, they try to run away as opposed to seeking shelter inside the house. They bolt away. Hey, would you look at that? It's like we never left. There goes any chance of us harvesting today. There you have it. A whopping 0.2 of an inch of rain. With this annoying wind we have right now and the sun about to shine through the clouds, I'd say in a couple hours, we're gonna go try pick some corn. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for round 2 of picking corn today and round 1 of testing out the tracks on some soft topsoil. Right in the nick of time. This go around, the weather outlook is a little more optimistic. Getting our money's worth out of the J&M extended reach auger today. That's maxed out right there. So far, so good. I'm having to truck the corn with the drain cart away from this 20-acre field to the east, all the way around the south side of this deep waterway that's not really crossable because we don't really want to risk pulling the trucks in the field. This is the only good place to load. How'd you do that?
I got in the gully down there, fed in the dirt, and packed it in there.
At least it's not burr cucumber. If you pick through a low spot, these gathering chains, if the corn head is running at a low enough elevation, we'll start to gather the mud up, and then the mud will feed in, and then the combination of the grain and the feeder house spinning will pack it in down there, creating issues. There's been no shortage of feeding issues on the corn head the last couple of days. At least we don't have to deal with that stupid burr cucumber today. Corn plants are dry. We're working with the Cobb 64, 65, 114-day double stack corn. The years out here aren't incredibly impressive by any means, yet it's still yielding pretty competitively with everything else so far. Looks have been deceiving this year. This corn in particular right now is running about 15 to 16%. That rain made next to no difference. If anything, we gained 0.5% of moisture. 0.5% of moisture is basically negligible. Steering sensitivity would be how quickly it adapts to readjust to the line.
What is line sensitivity?
Maybe, I don't know, honestly.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. The 36-inch stabilizer tracks are doing their job so far. Grain cart's still floating. It's not like we're putting anything through the ringer right now. The ground is still relatively dry, all things considered. Not even close to where we were last year. The issue I foresee this year with wet conditions, if they do arise, is that our tractor is going to struggle with traction, being a lighter front wheel assist versus the big 9460R four-wheel drive we were using last season. I have had numerous people ask why we put this 8R on the grain cart as opposed to sticking with the 9460R. Full disclosure, the 9460R, all things considered, is probably a better grain cart tractor, except for the fact that it uses a little bit more fuel. The main reason that the 8R370 is on this combination right now, other than reducing fuel consumption, not that that's that big of a deal, is that this tractor, which was used, so it's new to us but not new, is still under warranty through the end of harvest pretty much, or the end of fall. So we wanted to kind of put it under a test. We didn't know what it had been through, don't know how well it was taken care of, because we're not really familiar with the outfit that had it before us. So we wanted to put it through its paces, and if something went wrong, well, we got a warranty. As of yet, we've had no issues with this 8R tractor. It's actually been amazing. Personally, I wanted to put big LSW tires on the 9460R and use that to pull our new big soybean planter that's on its way. I couldn't get the red man there to go for that though, so we compromised with this 8R370. Needed some more power. Marty moved over to this field over here, very small and probably not going to yield very well due to the quality of the ground and the surrounding trees. I'm sitting here waiting on Chris, and Katie's combine's in the barn because she's not here. I found Chris. He was hiding at the farm with his truck, not along the road. It ended up being a perfect fit. I love when it works out that way. That DeKalb 64-65 on that small 20-acre field we just harvested made about 256 dry. I believe that would set, or at the bare minimum tie, a record for average so far this year. I'll be interested to see when we get farther away from home what the yields do. Anecdotally speaking, I've seen a geographic difference and planting date difference for both corn and soybeans. Certain areas planted at a certain time are yielding better than their counterparts. This cornfield, although small, is going to be a train wreck for us. The corn average right now is 115 bushels per acre, probably because there's no knife mark from the side dress bar. In layman's terms, that means that the retailer we were working with, for some reason, forgot this very small 5 or 6 acre farm, didn't side dress it, and killed our top end yield. That would explain why this corn has looked so rough all growing season. Corn needs nitrogen like that S780 needs diesel fuel. It loves it. And without nitrogen, you've almost got no chance of producing a substantial corn crop. Corn, unlike soybeans, has no ability to fixate atmospheric nitrogen. So you gotta help it out. This is only really a small financial blunder. If this corn makes 125 with zero nitrogen on it at all, because we don't put fall anhydrous on this little river bottom small piece, it's 4 acres. That would be, let's say, 100 bushel an acre loss on 4 acres is 400. Cash corn right now is $650. So that'd come out to about $2,900 by not getting nitrogen on this farm. That's nothing to scoff at by any means. However, it could be much worse. Accidents happen. nice way of a healthy rock crop out here. Yield monitor on the combine showed 130 bushel per acre average for this little 4-acre farm, and rightfully so. This should be our worst field of the year, hopefully. I think this is out of the way for now. Gearing up right now to take the S780 about 5 miles north. Got a couple hundred acres up that direction that we're planning on picking tomorrow. Not going to do it today just for the fact that it is still a little greasy on top. There's no more rain in the forecast in the 10-day currently, so we figured, you know what, a night of rest, let the ground dry a little bit more. We finished off some stuff that really wasn't that important. Tomorrow we can hit it hard, hopefully cover a lot of acres. It's your lucky day. 2-for-1 special. 2 days in one video. Yes, we did get another rain shower last night. Not enough to really stop anything, just enough to get some water on the tarp. It is freezing this morning. Let this old gal warm up before she goes to work. Up until this point, all the corn we've picked has been here around home, easygoing stuff. Today, the crew moves north. Still this 130 bushel per acre corn to offload. No verdict has been reached as to why that is the case. It is still under investigation. Probably nitrogen. Normally we'd need at least a semi for that little bottom piece, and in this case it's all going to fit onto the 10-wheeler with plenty of extra room. There's a lot of congestion at the farm lot this morning. One combine's already at the field. It's our turn to hit the road. In typical grain cart operator fashion, I'm not sure where to park at right now while he opens up the field. I do know that wherever I go is probably the wrong spot. Indeed, I was in the wrong spot. I'll guess right one of these days. I'm gonna hop out right now, clean my windows, and grease the drive line on the grain cart. Only got the cart greased before I was summoned back into action. There's about 160 acres up here in 2 different fields. The majority of it is our farm. We've got a Pioneer 1298 with our standard management practice. And right adjacent, we have some Beck 6357 high management and hopefully even higher yield. The landowner we work with to the south here is a big believer in pushing yields, and I certainly agree with doing so. It's even nicer with their support to be able to see what works and what doesn't. You can't just dive into high management on every acre in the first year. You can look at certain practices on certain fields and see if that's something that you can adopt across the entirety of your farm. There's not a ton of differences between these two farms in terms of soil type, and the management isn't that much different. Obviously we have Beck's genetics over here, planted at a higher population with a hair more nitrogen on it, maybe 20 pounds than what we use, and some more sulfur. Of course, add in another foliar product and a different fungicide, but very similar fungicide to what we have, both Syngenta products. This was sprayed with Mirvis Neo, about brown silk. This was sprayed with Trivapro. Comparable products, we'll see if there's a difference. Hopefully the high management has an advantage, because that means we can maybe try those practices on more of our farms. First offload of hopefully mini out on this field. How's the moisture on this corn?
17.
Not bad, 17%. Obviously, we're gonna have to pay a tiny bit of drying fees and dock at the elevator for that, but it's nothing like soybeans. Corn, 17 to 18% going to commercial storage. That's a good place to be. Katie's here. Both combines are in action now. Grain cart and the trucks are already getting a workout this morning. 2 combines and 250 plus bushel corn. Logistically challenged is a simple way to put that. And looks like Katie's got a whole bunch of calf corn again. I know that some way or somehow this is going to be my fault as the grain cart driver. At least it's on the cab and not on the engine compartment. It is hard to find good help. Look at it go! Look at it go! Hey look, it's conveniently feeding by your dome down to your head. Yep, we caught the trucks, no surprises. Although the elevator is literally right there, you can see the top of their leg, 2 miles up the road. But we're just picking so much corn right now between both combines and the high yields that they just can't keep up. There we go. Hey, cheese! She's decided to keep the shovel with her for now. Maybe in better hands with her than me. Gonna need another truck driver out here if we want to have any chance of keeping up. It doesn't help that the 780's moving close to 4,500 bushels an hour right now. I've been arguing with my dad on the radio about trying to get our Lakeland kid who's working ground to come up and drive a semi or the grain cart for me so we can have a 4th truck on the road. He keeps arguing with me that he doesn't want to do it, but it makes perfect financial sense. That S780 is depreciating at probably $200 an engine hour. That means for every 6 minutes that combine is sitting and running doing nothing, you're burning $20 that should be put towards harvesting. It makes perfect sense. You could bring someone in here, keep every machine running, and be money ahead by paying them to being another truck, get another 2,000 to 3,000 bushels per hour away from the field. That math is just for one combine, the new one. This older 670, probably $75 to $100 an hour if I had to guess in depreciation. It adds up quick. Oh, this is just getting old pretty quickly. This S780 picks so much corn that even if we start on one end of the field, he won't be empty by the other end, because regardless of how fast the auger can dump, the combine is still adding more to the tank. So the actual offload rate is probably closer to a bushel or 2 bushel per second as opposed to the 3.8 that it's rated at. Basically, it's coming back in at a very close rate to how fast it's going out, so he has to unload for a long time while picking to really offload a lot of what he has in the hopper. Allie and Lenny are here with lunch, so maybe that'll ease tensions. This crew's already grumpy enough from harvest time. Add in some hangriness to the equation, you can get a little vile. We're farming today. Are you happy to be farming? No? After flying my drone, I now realize why they have a red flag warning out today. It is extremely windy. Say about the state of the world and chaos and the financial markets and interest rates. 13 trucks in line.
Yes.
Waiting on trucks, waiting on trucks. There's our first truck in about 15 minutes. No such thing as too late. Better than never. Lenny's less concerned about the trucks and more concerned about the fact that I've got minions on the iPad right now. Still chewing through this field at a painfully slow pace. The elevator must have figured something out because the trucks are finally starting to catch up a bit. You just had to go and say something about it and jinx us. At least we've got foot pegs and a massaging seat to keep us comfortable while we wait on trucks. 2 trucks at one time? To what do I owe the pleasure? Persistency is a virtue, I guess. No, actually what I would speculate is happening right now is the rain and residual moisture this morning subsequently caused a lot of people to go ahead and pick corn as opposed to cutting beans because they would have been too wet. The wind has been blowing, the sun has been out, and it's a fairly warm day now, so I imagine everyone switched back over and is cutting beans. A lower volume going into the elevator of corn, meaning that we can get in and out a lot faster. Getting down to the short rows of this field. This is the first truck I've had waiting for me at the end of the field in probably 3 or 4 hours. That's how today's been going so far. I've spent my free time and redecorated the cab. Got my hat hanger right there now. When you spend 12 to 14 hours a day in a machine, you might as well at least make it feel like home, or as close to home as it could possibly be. Just being pushed the limits today. Speaking of limits, I just stopped dumping. I was stuffed full of the cart, and the combine's already sitting here breathing down my neck. Harvesting corn's like a high dollar, high stakes game of hot potato. No one wants the corn in their tank. The combines want it in me, I want it in the trucks want it out. Everyone's just passing the buck as quickly as possible. That right there, though, is all that we have left in this field. Center there, Marty. Man, both are combine drivers today, making a mess. A really neat feature of the LibreCart system is the remote display feature for your phone. As long as you're within 400 feet of your hardware, you can actually see what the scale reads. You see right here we show 1062, that's in bushels, so we have 1,062 bushels on the cart. This feature would be extremely useful for those of you who are trying to calibrate a combine on your own. Marty's combine has the active yield system, so it's self-calibrating, or so they say it is. Katie's combine would use this feature, except for we can't get her calibration to work correctly. You'll just have to take my word for it. Extremely useful feature, and arguably a cheaper upgrade than one of those fancy LED displays on the side of your cart, although that would be cool. Last load of that field of Pioneer 1298. According to LibreCart, which has been tallying everything in the background, seamless, always automated, that field just made about 238 dry. That's a little bit lower than what we were raising south of town on less fertile acreage. However, that seems to be the trend. The farther north you go, the lower the yields are. I'm excited to get into this Beck's corn right adjacent to the field we were just in because I think it's going to be some good stuff. Getting it all?
Looks that way, doesn't it?
It's saying you're not?
Yeah.
Huh. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is this Beck's 6374 yielding strongly, it's on pace to be our best average of the year right now. Combine lights are on. I repeat. Combine lights are on.
That tunnel hole's on that through, Kate, somewhere right back there. Watch it. Or the next through. Or both of them.
Okay. I think it's our time to join the light party. Boom. The elevator closes at 7. It's 6:45. So I would say that we're going to be shutting down soon.
Are you full?
Very much so. I'm full. Katie's full. Marty's the only one with room left. Last load of the night for Chris. There's Jeff, just in time for his last load. See you tomorrow, Jeff. Oh, poor Katie's got the short end of the stick for the last 30 minutes. Every time a truck would show up, I'd load it, I'd go catch Dad, and by the time Dad would pick and dump, I'd be full again. So she's just been sitting on the end with her combine loaded for, like I said, half an hour. Finally getting her emptied. Just waiting on the last truck of the night to return back from the elevator. We're gonna load it, park it at a neighbor's farm, and we'll hit it hard again tomorrow. There's the last truck finally back from the elevator. Very uncharacteristic for an elevator, they slow down at quitting time. Usually they find a whole nother gear and dump the trucks even faster once quitting time approaches, because you know they want to go home too. And I've got 2 combines on my tail the whole time. Greencourt's headed to find a nice, cozy place to shut down. Alrighty folks, I think that's the end of the line for me in this 2-day harvesting extravaganza. I do greatly appreciate all of you tuning in, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Until then, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!